I'm back again live with another yoga session for beautiful hair. Just waiting for a few of you to join in. We are here thanks to Moha Life. We're doing these lives together. I hope you enjoyed the last one, which was for glowing skin. It's there on my page, so if you haven't caught it yet, go ahead and catch it. Today we're going to be doing a few yoga asanas for hair fall to promote healthy hair. We'll also be doing, I'm also going to be doing a really nice Ayurvedic Marma point massage, the way you massage your scalp, of course with oil. Also I'm going to give you a few mudras to promote hair growth and avoid hair fall. So I'm just going to wait for a few of you to join in, and then you can start this live, our Sunday morning happy live. Welcome everybody. Good morning. Marathi मध्ये पण बोलते. कसे आहात तुम्ही? Happy Sunday to everybody. इफ़ यू हैव, अगर आपकी कोई हेयर इश्यूज़ हो तो प्लीज़ आप हमें बताइए. इस लाइव पर हम ट्राई करेंगे कि कोशिश करेंगे कि आपके इश्यूज़ सॉल्व कर सके. मराठीत बोलू मी? काय मराठीत बोलू सांगा तुम्ही, मी बोलते. चला लाईव्ह सुरू करूया. आपण योगा पण करायचं आहे आज. Of course, I'll be starting with a little bit of warm-up so that we get our blood circulation going. That of course helps. That of course helps with hair fall, and not helps with hair fall, helps with hair growth. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to start today's live session. We're promoting hair health. Are you checking with the... yeah. Okay. It's perfect, right? Okay, if there are any glitches on this live, please let us know. I have a lovely friend of ours here from Moha, Charishma, who's helping me with the technical issues of this one. So, अगर आपको कोई issue हो रहा है, तो please मुझे बताइए. Great seeing you. Thank you so much. Hi, Parvez. Okay. So today's live session is, I'm here thanks to Moha, Moha Seva Skin Campaign. This is season 2. तो मैं hair health, hair growth के बारे में बात करने वाली हूँ. Today's episode is of course brought to you by Moha Seva Skin Campaign, season 2. Like I said, it's an initiative by Charak Pharma, who's the Ayurveda leaders in our country. Well, summers are here and our skin and hair really gets dry, dull, damaged, lifeless, also sticky, right? It's very common. Itchy scalp also is very common, which is why Moha has come up with this Seva Skin campaign. These are a series of live sessions with cosmetologists and with an Ayurveda doctor and with myself, a yoga expert. The other sessions happen around the weekend at 4:30 p.m. My session happens Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Today is the second one that we are doing. So let's get on with it. Today's session is, we're going to be talking about hair. I'm going to give you some tips on how to keep your hair lovely, beautiful, because of course summers are here and they create a havoc in our hair, isn't it? But to begin with, we're going to start with some yoga. Like I said, let's get into it, and we'll just start with some basic asanas, some warm-up to really get the blood circulation going, get a little bit, breaking into a sweat a little bit. And post that, I'm going to give you some specific dedicated asanas for which will promote hair growth. I'm live on my Instagram channel, and of course, I'm also live on the Moha Life channel as well on Instagram. So see you guys. Practice some yoga, get on your mat. We're just going to begin with a very mild cat and cow. So that's that. Just come onto your all fours, so palms under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips, your knees and your feet are hip distance apart. and we're going to be doing cat and cow, which means with a straight spine first, let's just inhale up, arch the back, tailbone lifts, exhale, curve the back. We're just waking up the spine this Sunday morning. Really curve the back, chin goes towards the chest. 3 more times, arch the back, inhale, look up, tailbone up, exhale, curve the back. This feels so good, really. Chin towards the chest, tuck in the tailbone. 2 more times, inhale, look up, exhale, curve, inhale and up, exhale and curve. After this, let's go into our downward facing dog, first downward facing dog of the day. So just keep your hands where you are, lift the knees up, keep the knees bent and allow the body to go back. So it's literally like resting your belly onto your thighs. Keep the feet, the heels up. Really push the body back. Really elongating that spine. Allow the head to dangle. This literally is again your inversion. Inversions are incredible for skin and hair. Make great blood supply going towards your head. Rejuvenating the scalp. Helps with lessening your hair fall, promoting hair growth. And now if your legs are shaking a little bit, that's a good thing. You can straighten them as much as you can. Maybe your heels remain up and that's okay. Maybe your knees are still bent and that's okay too. But if you can, try and see if your heels come towards the floor. Even if they don't, energetically keep sending them towards the floor and allow the upper body to go really back towards the back body. Allowing the tailbone to go up to the sky. Really squeeze those thighs, activate those thighs. Allow your shoulder blades to go away from each other. This is Adho Mukha Svanasana, which again is an incredible inversion, great for your hair. Every day you stay here for at least 5 to 7 minutes, you see what will happen with your hair and skin. You talk about, everybody tells me about my glowing skin at my age. This is the reason why my skin glows. Why my hair is still, why I still have a head full of hair rather, with so much chemical treatment and hair straightening and stuff on my sets every day. Right, from here we're just going to walk our hands back and allow them to come towards the feet. Now even if you look like this, it's okay. Bend your knees and try and just dangle your arms, dangle your neck. This again is an inversion, incredible for your hair and skin. Just hold on to your elbows with your palms and elongate your spine. Close your eyes and just be here. And then maybe you can do like a waterfall pose, just go from side to side, waking up the waist, a little twist, detoxification. Keep your knees soft. Be soft with yourself. Just allow to relax. Meditation again is another really incredible thing that you can do every day to calm your head, which means less hair fall. Now, we're going to be starting with some Surya Namaskars, but we're going to be doing them slightly differently. Yeah? Modified Surya Namaskars. We're going to start with the easy one first, and then I'm going to give you a little variation to make it a little tough. You choose what you want to do today, whatever your body allows or wants. Now from here, we just come up, one vertebra at a time, very easy and slow. Head comes up last, and then look up. Awesome. Now there's a lot of blood that's gone into your head right now. Just settle down, and then we can begin. Feet can be hip distance apart for beginners, closer together for more advanced practitioners. Take the arms up, inhale, look up. Legs are strong. Lift your body up. Exhale. Palms go down. And Uttanasana again, the same pose, your knees can be bent. Walk the hands in the front. Stay here on an inhale, we are in a plank now. Keep your feet apart if this is very difficult for you to do. You can do not want you to either sag your hips down or take your hips up. Now let's be in that one nice line. Core pulling towards the spine, kneecaps are pulled up, really building the heat throughout the body. Make sure the shoulders are on top of the wrists. And then from here, knees down, chin and chest down, exhale. Inhale, come into a Bhujangasana or a Cobra. Really push the shoulders back and down, shoulder blades towards each other. Look at my knees, my kneecaps are up and my toes are really pushing into the mat. Look straight front. Tuck the toes under, we'll go into a downward facing dog. And this downward facing dog, if you wish to, you can just pedal your knees. Allow the neck to relax completely. If you want to stay still, you can do that. Allow the eyes of the elbows to face each other. Really pressing into the first two knuckles of the, the palms. And then from here, walk or jump or fly to the front of your mat. Look up halfway, Uttanasana. Exhale and down. Inhale and come up. Urdhva Hastasana, look where the thumbs meet. And down. We do a few more of these with a few variations. The next one is exactly the same one like we did. Inhale, arms up, look up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at your waist, allow the head to dangle. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, take the feet back. Come into a plank. Strong body, let's stay here for 3, 2, 1. Knees down, chin and chest down. Exhale down. Inhale, come up, shoulders back, don't shrug the shoulders. Bhujangasana. Tuck the toes under, let's go back into downward facing dog. Wait here, 3, 2, 1. And then either hop, fly, jump or walk to the front of your mat. Ardha Uttanasana, really arch the back here, look up. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold forward, hinging at your hips. Head is heavy, neck is loose. Inhale, come up. Urdhva Hastasana, look up. Exhale to Samasthiti. One more time, exactly like this. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. Hinge at your hips, head down. Inhale, halfway, look up. Exhale, take your legs back, come into a plank. We wait at 3, 2, and 1. Knees down, chin and chest down. Inhale to come up. A little extended cobra. Exhale. Go to Adho Mukha Svanasana or downward facing dog. And then from here, walk front or jump and come into Ardha Uttanasana. Look front, arch the back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale, arms to heart center. We'll just modify this a little bit, adding Chaturanga and Urdhva Mukha now. You can obviously continue the way we were continuing. Whatever's in your practice, we will do that. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale, let's go into a plank. Let's hold here, be mindful. Belly pulling towards the spine, shoulders are over your wrists, and your legs are super tight, your glutes are clenched, tailbone going towards your feet. And from here, we go into a Chaturanga Dandasana, so really take the shoulders over your wrists this time and come down halfway. And then do a Urdhva Mukha if that's in your practice. Really keep the legs active, kneecaps pulled up. Don't slouch like this. Lift yourself up. Look up. Exhale. Go back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Walk or jump or fly front. Come into Ardha Uttanasana, arch that back, exhale. Allow the head to dangle, Uttanasana. Inhale and come up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale and back. Now, either you do the first variation or you do the Chaturanga variation. I'm going to give you a third advanced variation if you're up for it. Yeah? Whatever is your practice, you do just that. But if you want to try a little more, I'm going to give it to you. So let's begin again. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway, look up, arch the back, Ardha Uttanasana. Now, you can either go into a plank or I'm going to take you into a Bakasana. So, for the beginner Bakasana, all I want you to do is put your hands like this and have your elbows go into the grooves at your knees right here. So let's do that. And maybe one leg lifts up, maybe the other leg lifts up. If you can't stay here, you do. Maybe you try a little bit and you don't stay here, and that's okay. 2, 3, 2, 1. And now from here, maybe you shoot back straight into a Chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha. Adho Mukha Svanasana. I hope you're building the heat because I'm sweating already. And then from here, walk front. Halfway lift, arch the back, inhale. Exhale. Uttanasana. Inhale to come up. Urdhva Hastasana, look up. Exhale and down. One more of these, you pick your variation and let's do this. Inhale, arms go up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold forward, hinge at your hips. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Take your variation of Bakasana or Chaturanga or just a plank. This time I'm going into full Bakasana because now my knees are at my triceps. Really that groove under your armpits. And then try and lift. Stay 3, 2, 1 and back. Chaturanga. Up. Urdhva Mukha. Back. Adho Mukha. Exhale. Let's stay and exhale in this pose for about 3 breaths now. 2. Keep pushing your lower body, upper body towards your lower body. Scapula away from each other. Feet are hip distance apart, kneecaps are pulled up. And then walk front. Inhale halfway. Arch the back. Exhale down. Really dangle the neck here. Knees can be bent. Inhale to come up. And arms to heart center. Right, so that was my warm-up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now we're going to be doing just a few poses specifically for healthy hair. Right? 2 of them we've already done. So we'll just go through it. We'll just stay in every pose for about a minute or 2. We'll start with Uttanasana, which was the forward fold. Now for that, I want you to keep your feet hip distance apart. And hinging at your waist, I just want you to fold forward. Now, if your legs are not straight like this, it's fine. They can be bent. But I want you to just allow your head to relax. Allow all that blood to really come into your head, to your scalp. And maybe you want to hold onto your elbows. Maybe you want to just stay here. Whatever works for you is good. You might be looking like this, and that's okay too. If you have blocks or if you have maybe a pillow or books, you can keep your hands on the books as well. Right here, just stay in here. This is a beautiful, so all the inversions basically are when your heart is, when your head is under your heart. So obviously your circulatory system is helped, your heart health is kind of taken care of. It doesn't have to work as much. Also, inversions really rejuvenate your entire head region. So there's blood going towards also the chakras. There's so many chakras actually above the heart. There is your Ajna chakra, which is the third eye. There's your crown chakra, which is right here in your head. There is your throat chakra, the Vishuddhi chakra. And of course there's your heart chakra, the most beautiful one. So just stay here, just listen to what I'm saying, or if you want to zone out, just do that. That's just the best thing that you'll do. You stay here for another 5, 4. It also helps you in your hamstrings, the back of your legs to open up when you do this. So really just allow the neck to dangle. There might be pain or discomfort in the hamstrings. You can bend your knees like I said. And then we go on to the next one. Again, we've done this one, but we'll stay here for a minute this time. It can be a little daunting. Adho Mukha Svanasana or downward facing dog. Now you can start with your knees down like we did before, and your shoulder distance apart, your palms, and then lift the knees up and go into a downward facing dog. You stay here only for a minute, but I'm just going to take you through what a downward facing dog alignment should be in the meantime. Most of you might be here, which is pretty much like a plank, downward dog, I don't know, a mix of a lot of things. So what we really want to do is push the body back. Maybe your shoulders are not as open, this angle of your shoulder, which is why you're here. It's okay. We just try as much as we can, right? Maybe the heels are up and the knees are bent. That's okay. Energetically pull them towards the mat. Really making sure that your shoulders are not near your ears. So what I mean by that is, I'm going to come closer and show it to you. You don't want to do this. There is no place for my neck. I've really scrunched all the muscles here. What I'm doing is this. Did you see how much space I've created between my ear and my shoulder? That is what I want. My scapula or my shoulder blades are protracting. They're going away from each other. Also, the eyes of my elbow are facing towards each other. I've seen a lot of people do this. This is a really crazy angle for your shoulder. You're calling for shoulder injury. So this is where you need to be. And not this. Can you see my palms are not like this. These 2 points I really need to be going into the mat. Now I've done tutorials of this on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram as well. But just to show you right now. So really digging those knuckles into the mat, rotating the shoulders outwards, really having my tailbone go up to the sky, my feet are hip distance apart, maybe the heels are down, heels are up, doesn't matter. Keep the kneecaps pulled up, keep the belly going towards the spine. And perfect. The next one that we're going to be doing is Ustrasana. This is a heart opening posture, also called as the camel pose. Now I'm going to give you variations you do where you can go, yeah? For beginners, keep your feet tucked, toes tucked under, and your knees are hip distance apart. At any given point of time, you should understand that you want to keep your knees going towards each other, the muscles going towards each other. So we are here. Hold on to your waist, really open the chest up, shoulders go back. So this time, shoulder blades are going towards each other. Going in like this. The first thing I want you to do is just open up the chest to the sky. Keep the glutes active, really strong. Your thigh muscles are going towards each other. And if this is where you're at, just stay here. Keep the chin tucked in even now. Don't allow the head to go back for now. This is your first position. If this is very easy, the next position is we'll go down a little bit more and try and catch our heels. Yeah, really opening the heart up to the sky and rotating the shoulders back. Now maybe you want to put your head back. And then very easily come up. We're going to be doing this one more time. You choose your variation. The second time we do it, the heels are not going to be, my feet are going to be flat on the floor. This is a more advanced variation. You pick your variation. So let's begin again. First thing is, glutes are active, hands on the waist. Really allow the shoulders to go back. So look at where I am like this and look at where I am now. Yeah? My elbows are really wanting to go towards each other. Now from here, I'm sending the hips a little bit in the front, not too much, just a little bit, allowing my heart to rise up to the sky. Once you've got the back bend here, only then you do a back bend here. This otherwise, the thoracic spine, I call it the lazy spine, it doesn't do any work, and we do all the work from here, and this is what injures our back. So basically, really rotate those shoulders, allow the hips to go a little in the front, really pull the sky up towards the sky. Now look up, and maybe really have your glutes active, knees, thigh muscles towards each other, and then hopefully catch your heels and look back. Stay here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep the hands back on your waist and come up. Now we'll do a counter pose for this one, which is called the Shashankasana or the rabbit pose. You can also do a child's pose at any time, yeah? As every back bend, we first want to take our chest to the sky. That is what we did in Uttanasana. Now, we're again on our haunches. So knees, this time keep them together. And feet also keep together. We're going to be trying to hold on to our feet. Or if feet doesn't happen, you can hold on to your ankles or your shins, whatever works for you. If you can hold on to your feet, then you're just going to get your crown onto the mat. So this is what it's going to look like. And then I'm going to lift my hips up. When you do that, you'll feel your back literally opening. You'll feel all the muscles in your back really loose and happy. And of course, your head is on the mat, which means it's pretty much like a meditative posture when your head is on the mat like that. So once again, that's going over it. Your feet are together. They can be a little apart for beginners as well, not a problem. The knees also slightly apart is also okay. Just hold on to wherever you can, your feet, your shins, and then come on to the crown of your head. Once your head is down, and if your head doesn't touch the ground, please feel free to put blocks, books, whatever it is that you want. And then you lift your hips up. Bring your crown as close as you can to your knees. Lift the hips up. The quads also are working on this one. Really feel that beautiful little tension between the vertebra, between the spine. Really feels like a nice relief to the spine. Allow the head to rest. Allow the blood circulation to really come towards your scalp, your forehead, your face. Stay here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. And come up. Well, just one more pose after this. Last time we did Sarvangasana, which is the shoulder stand, and Halasana. Today I'm going to be doing the Shirshasana with you, which I feel is really one of the most amazing postures. Now if you can't do Shirshasana, you can obviously do Sarvangasana or Halasana. But I'm going to give you a step-by-step variation so you know where you can do. You can do half of the Shirshasana and just stay there, same benefits. So basically, very important, to have your hands like this. Hold your hands here, not here, not here. Hold them here. This is your grip. Now once you've got this grip, place it on the mat. After you've placed it on the mat, I just want you to take your fingers and interlock them. Yeah? Which means you're here and not here. This you will not get Shirshasana. If you're so low, you will not be able to go up. Yeah? So again, this is the grip. Place it on the floor. Allow the fingers to interlock. Keep them on the floor. You've got your triangle of your Shirshasana. Now, have your crown. Now this, the middle portion here is your crown. Have your crown come into your palms. And stay there. That's your first posture. Right? Now, from here, if you want to take it a little bit ahead, just lift your hips up. You can stay here as well, making sure that your shoulders are pushing up. Don't collapse. And then walk your hands in. Now, very, very important. You can do a Shirshasana like this, which will be completely wrong, or allow space between your ears and your shoulders. Exactly what we did in downward facing dog. You want the energy to go up, not to go towards the floor. You will not be able to lift if you're going towards the floor. Yeah? Very little weight. 20% weight on your head. 80% weight on the rest of the body. So, if Shirshasana is in your practice, go ahead and be there for the next 5 minutes or 10 or 15, whatever. Anyway, let's walk the legs. If this is where you're staying, stay here. Keep practicing to really lift the shoulders up only. So no weight on your head. Then you can lift one leg and keep it down. Lift the other leg, my toes are pointed, and keep it down. Keep doing this. Once you're okay with this, maybe you lift one leg and get your hip in line with your shoulder. Once that happens, the other leg will get really light and the toes will come up and float. Maybe you can stay here in the beginning. This is the first variation of Shirshasana. This is the second variation of Shirshasana where you take the knees up. Keep making sure that your shoulder blades are still away from each other and ears are away from your shoulders. The third variation is where you can take it right up. And all this can also be done near a wall. Also, this is the right way of doing it. Instead of flailing your legs up in the air and hoping that you will stay up. It doesn't work. It might work also and it will sort of kind of enjoy yourself maybe. But this is the easiest and the quickest way of getting up. We'll just again wait here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and now down. Same way as you went up, you come down. First, bend your knees, then bring the knees in towards the heart, and then bring the feet down. We'll rest our forehead because that's very important after any inversion. Just stay here for a couple of breaths and more actually. Allow the head to relax, allow the body to relax. You can stay there. I'm going to come up and we're going to be doing a few more things. Let me see if you have any questions for me. Do we have any questions?
How to take care of the hair in summer? There is a question from me.
How to take care of hair in summers? I suggest you do the practice that we did, at least about 4 or 5 times a week, and it will work wonders for you. It's hot yoga or normal yoga. This is normal yoga. You do yoga. I mean, I'm not very keen on hot yoga. I've done that as well for a couple of years, but I just feel like normal yoga without extra heating or extra cooling. The more you are in tune with nature, the better it is what I feel.
Is this okay for post-pregnancy?
Post-pregnancy, you see how your body feels. Of course, you can start with Surya Namaskars. and all the asanas that I've done today are amazing for post-pregnancy as well. But if Shirshasana has never been in your practice, I suggest you be a little careful, because a lot of people get injured and their neck gets injured because, like I was saying, if you're like this, your neck will get injured in a Shirshasana. It needs to be like this. Shoulders are away from the ears. Your scapula or your shoulder blades away from each other. Your core will really start working. Your legs really need to be strong and straight, because if you leave your legs loose, your balance is going to be off. So yeah, you can do all of it after alright, you saw my movie. Thank you so much. Parvez, you saw the movie last night. I put it on my Instagram.
Instead of
Thank you.
headstand, what can be the substitute?
Like I said, you can do Sarvangasana, which is the shoulder stand, which is incredible. We did that in the last session of Moha. I'll probably do it again on the next one if you like. Or you can do Halasana, or you can do the stages of, like I said, you can also do Dolphin, which is on your forearms with your head down. All the asanas that we did today are all substitutes for headstand as well, basically. So I've just given you, from the beginner level to, but it's really nice. I feel that you start something with a warm up, especially Surya Namaskars. I feel is an entire body. I wouldn't say a workout. It's pretty much a work in, I think. But yeah, that sort of gets the whole body circulation going. It sort of, rejuvenates you. Like you can see even right now, my skin is looking a little better. Why? Because we've done half an hour of that, basically. So yeah, I do it daily. Fantastic. Any more questions? Please ask.
How to get glowing skin?
We did yoga for glowing skin, Glow Flow last time. I think we're going to be doing one more of those next Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yes, next Sunday as well. So be there, join us, and I will give you some more tips. But do the last one as well. We did it, I think, 2 Saturdays back. Yeah, so it's there on my IGTV as well. So go ahead. And what else? Right, so moving along, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 3 mudras now, which are extremely effective. Now, mudras are a very important part of yoga, Ayurveda, basically our ancient culture, and we pretty much lost it. So I'm going to give you 3 mudras which work wonders for hair fall and basically rejuvenate you. The first mudra is your Pran Mudra. Pran Mudra is your thumb and the last 2 fingers. So this is it. We do it with both our hands. Yeah, thumb and last 2 fingers. This is your Pran Mudra. You can do all of these mudras sitting, watching your television or whatever. When your hands are not in use, just sit like this. This Pran Mudra, Pran is life force. So what this does is gets vitality in your body, in your hair, in your skin. Yeah, Pran Mudra for really silky and shiny hair. Sit like this for 10 to 15 minutes every day and you see what happens. These are all pressure points, these are all marma points, which are very, very, it's I think a lost science these days. There are only a few Ayurvedic doctors who practice this, but I think if it comes into a life daily, these mudras are just incredible, even for those people who do not like to do a lot of movement-based exercises. So something like this, not that I'm saying that you shouldn't do them, those are most important as well, but this is good. So this is the first mudra, Pran Mudra. The second mudra that we have is the Prithvi Mudra, which is the thumb and the last finger. Yeah, so this is your Prithvi Mudra. This again is incredible for premature graying, for hair fall. Sit again like this for 10-15 minutes daily and you will see the difference. Your thumb and the ring finger, just sit there watching TV or doing whatever else. Sit like this. And the third mudra, which I think a lot of you know, but maybe don't practice, maybe you start practicing, it's called the Prasanna Mudra, which we take, the thumbs are away, but the 4 fingers are here, and this is what we do. Prasanna Mudra is great for your blood circulation. It also stimulates hair follicles, so new hair will grow. So keep doing this as well for about 7 minutes or so daily. and see the difference. Practice these 3 mudras for great hair. And now the last bit that I'm going to show you is the right technique to massage your hair. Now Moha has been very kind, and we've got this beautiful oil from them, which is the Moha 5-in-1 hair oil, which is the one that we're going to be using for scalp massage. Ideally, we massage just the scalp, and the benefits go towards the hair as well. Like, I don't really put a lot of oil in my hair, and you won't believe, but I oil my hair at least once a week, even in this day and age, and with a proper champi, the Ayurvedic massage, which I'm going to talk to you about right now. So this oil has coconut, almond, jojoba, rosemary, argan. Now, I remember when I used to get the other oil before this one, I used to actually get rosemary from the market. No, actually, now I have some growing in my house as well. And I put rosemary in it. Rosemary is very, very amazing for hair fall. The other thing that I also do is, I mean, a lot of people might say ew, but onion juice in your scalp works wonders. It smells terrible, but well, you know what? You want to have good hair, you got to do things. But this one, the Moha 5-in-1 hair oil, is a herbal oil, and it is amazing. So for total hair repair, this is the one that I would recommend. And what we're going to do with this is maybe just take a little bit of oil. I'm going to show you the technique of hair massage where we address the marma points in the around our head. So the first thing is take a little bit of oil. Right now I can't really oil my hair because I have to rush to a shoot right after this. So take a little bit of oil and first try and put it here. This is your Ajna chakra. So you want to put it here and just give it a little bit of this round middle finger massage. Yeah, just like maybe for 30 seconds. Then you'll take that oil and come to your Shankhamarma, which is your temples. And again, just do this, close your eyes. If somebody else is doing it for you, amazing. But if you can't, do it for yourself. It's called Shiro Abhyanga. Shiro is of course your head, Abhyanga is your self-massage. So that. And the third thing you'll do is take it behind your ears and just go like this. Now this will really calm you down. Again, it's like, I feel like these champis are like meditative for me as well. Right, so once you do that, then you're going to figure out your Brahmarandra, which is, put your palm here, wherever these 4 fingers sort of end, put a finger there and then do this. Now this, where the 4 fingers end here, this pretty much is like your crown chakra. It's also called the Brahmarandra Marma. So this is where you're going to be taking your oil and putting. And just do this for a little while. Really stimulating this crown chakra as well, or this Marma point. Awesome. Then just go ahead and do this. I remember my mom and my grandmom used to do this to me when I was growing up. We used to have these every week oil days, like Sundays used to be this chumpy day. It's advisable to warm the oil a little bit, but right now it's really hot, so even if you don't, it's okay. And now we're just going to take a little more oil and then we're just going to go like this. With literally like claw of my hands going in from the bottom around my ears and just, this is what I'm going to be doing. These are beautiful. And just go all over from the top of the scalp to the middle, towards the end. Really. Now the slower strokes will obviously want to make you fall asleep. The faster ones, which are these, will stimulate. These are the stimulating strokes which are amazing to sort of wake you up as well. Also get the blood circulation going. So go ahead and do that. Now we don't do one at a time. It's a magnetic bonding force, so we're not isolating them. We're sort of doing this together on both the sides. The next thing after you've done a few of these can be done with your palms. Now get your palms here and then let your palms do the magic. Oh, this also feels so good. So your hands are just, your fingers are just helping, but your palms are doing the massaging. So it's just different pressures everywhere. So once you're done with this for a few times, the next thing you want to work is on this beautiful nape of your neck. All you're going to do is take the oil and just go into these strokes. If you can see, just not very heavy duty, just these strokes here. About 10-15 strokes here on the nape of your neck. I'm sorry if you cannot see me. And then you have this point here, which are your little bones here, your occipital point. These are the marmas here again. Here you can put a little force. Now I really like to put my head on my knee when I do it. If you're doing it for somebody, they can hold your forehead, because I don't want too much pressure coming on my neck because of this. So I put my head on my knee and go around doing the back massage. So the neck and this marma point. You can feel this little groove here on both the sides. Well, yes. So that is your marma massage for your scalp. Like I said, mostly done on the scalp, but if you want to put oil in your hair, go ahead and do that as well. Also, I think when we're doing the massages here, you can, sometimes your skin is very sensitive and can't take oil on your skin. So you figure that out for yourself. The other thing you can do, instead of putting oil on your temples and your Ajna chakra, you can maybe use aloe vera gel along with some turmeric or sandalwood paste, and mix that into the aloe vera gel and put. Moha's got this amazing aloe vera gel which has got aloe, rose and cucumber, which protects, moisturizes, and you can use it to put it on the pressure points here, on the Shankhamarma, and right behind the ears as well. It's also very nice once you put the oil to also go massage your ears and behind the ears. Yeah. And the last thing, of course, is a shampoo. Now this is something that you really have to take care of, because there is so many chemicals in most of the shampoos that we use outside. Moha has come up with this. They just launched this sulfate-free, paraben-free shampoo, which is just amazing for the hair. It's a herbal shampoo, rich in antioxidants and essential minerals, which means it can control your hair fall and assist hair growth. It's perfect for colored hair, treated hair, for dull and damaged hair, and like I said, it's got aloe vera, which is so amazing for hydration and nutrition. It's anti-inflammatory, so it's great for your scalp health as well, because itchy scalp is very common in the summers. There's sunflower oil, which is very, very high in vitamins and lectins, so of course helps against hair breakage. There is argan oil, which is rich in linoleic acid, which moisturizes hair and reduces dryness and protects your hair color as well. So my hair, which is colored for my new show. Then there's green tea, of course, as we all know, full of antioxidants. So it's rich in antioxidants and promotes hair growth and prevents hair fall. There's also hydrolyzed keratin, which means it smooths your hair. Like, I've done keratin treatments so many times in the parlor, and I think they kind of really damaged my hair because it's so much chemical. But here, this is hydrolyzed keratin, and it's very good for smoothing and shining your hair. And also, last but not the least, they also have quinoa protein, which means it's rich in amino acids, which is great for hair growth and strength. And like I said, anything that's full of herbs, anything that's got less of the chemical. Why is it still anything that has got less of chemicals is my go-to. And I have to thank Moha for this one. So I'm going to be putting up a story of this one. If you guys want to buy it, you can just swipe up. I'll be putting up a story right after this live. And I think Today we've done about 50 seconds, 50 minutes. So that's a lot of talking for me. I have to rush to my shoot now, and I'm so glad you guys to have joined me today and Moha Life for this amazing session. I'm going to be back next Sunday at 10 a.m. again with Moha Life to do another session of yoga for glowing skin, and I will see you guys then. Alright, let's close this practice with one chant of Om, and let's go. Take a nice deep inhale. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Great, thank you so much guys. Healthy, happy hair to you and a happy Sunday. Bye bye. Okay, now how do we shut this and what do we do? You will have to help me with this because I'm really bad.
And
End the cross, right?
yeah.
Okay. Are you sure you want to end the live?